You know, I was a little boy and I didn't know what this feeling was. I used to feel horrible, terrible, feel like I was being left behind or something was wrong, and even though nothing was wrong. And I later found out, 27 years later, that it was anxiety that I've been suffering with my whole life. The feeling that something's about to happen and nothing happens. It felt like an emptiness, a deep gaping hole of nothing. Darkness and grey clouds. Every day was grey. Every day I woke up after that fight, even before the fight, for a long time would be grey days. And I felt like I had nothing to look forward to. I was worthless. It was just a horrible, horrible feeling that people need to understand. I'd wake up and I think, why did I wake up this morning? This is coming from a man who had everything: money, fame, glory, titles, a wife, a family, kids, everything. But I felt as if I had nothing. I felt there was an empty, gaping hole that was just filled with gloom and doom, and it just was one bad thing happened to me after another. When you're waking up and you don't want to live anymore, you know, it's hard for me to say sat here because I'm not thinking in that mindset anymore. But there was a number of years where I did not want to live on a daily basis. I said to God, why have you let me wake up this morning? Why didn't I die in my sleep? And I had no real reason. There wasn't one thing that made this happen. This is a continuous journey for years and years and years of depression and anxiety. Just constantly wishing bad things on myself and not wanting to live, and I didn't value my family, my friends, achievements, money, fame, glory. Nothing meant nothing. And it was like, what is the point in living? What am I living for? All right, I won a belt. What does it mean? And I was suffering with depression the whole time. Even in training camp, before I sprained my ankle, I was depressed as depressed could be on a daily basis. And I'm thinking, why am I feeling like this? I don't have no reason to feel like it. Some people will say, oh, well, it's attention seeking or whatever. But unless you've experienced what I'm saying, it's sort of impossible to understand where I've been or where I've come from. But I can walk down the street, nobody can see in my mind. They don't know what I'm doing. I could be on the verge of suicide and you couldn't tell because you can't see in someone's mind. I come from a family where we don't show love, we don't show emotion. So I'm suffering with this problem on the inside, and it's like shaking a bottle of champagne up with a corkscrew half hanging out. It's going to explode. And it did. And then there was no stopping me at all. I looked at myself and I thought, you're a failure. But at this time, I still wasn't educated on mental health. I'm still thinking that I'm a piece of and, you know, I'm a weak person and all these type of things that are running through my mind all the time. But when you wake up the next day, you're even more depressed than you started. Because whatever is in the alcohol puts you in a bad state afterwards. Like I say, every good high, there's got to be a good low. And whatever you do in life like that, if you suffer with mental health, you'll know where I'm coming from. And I just spiraled out of control. I didn't care. I didn't want to live. I'd lost the passion to live. And it just went from bad to worse. I hit the drink heavily on a daily basis. I hit the drugs. I was out all night partying with women of the night and not coming home. And, you know, I didn't care about boxing. I didn't care about living. I just wanted to die. And I was going to have a good time doing it while I was doing it. I used to drink and take drugs to get away from the depression, because when I was drunk or high, then I wouldn't think about being depressed. I thought about I'm a boxing champion, or I feel great. But as we know, when the drink wears off, it only leaves you with a bad hangover and feeling even more depressed. For someone who suffers with mental health, the worst thing we can do to escape it is take drugs or alcohol. Although I did all those mad things and I went through all that time and I tried to commit suicide, and I'd go very, very, very low at times, very low. And I'd start thinking all these crazy thoughts and this, that and the other. And I was in my car, I bought a brand new Ferrari convertible in the summer of 2016. And I was in it and I was on the highway. And there's a strip of the highway where I am. And at the bottom of about a 5-mile strip, there's a massive bridge that crosses the motorway. And I knew that. And I got the car up to 190 miles an hour. I was heading towards that bridge. And I didn't care what no one was thinking. I didn't care about hurting my family, me career, people who friends, anybody. I didn't care. I didn't care about nothing. I just wanted to die so bad. I give up on life. And just as I was heading towards that bridge at 190 in this Ferrari, it had crushed like a Coke can, by the way, if I'd have hit it. I heard a voice say no. don't do this, Tyson. Think about your kids. Think about your family and your little boys and girls growing up with no father. And everyone saying your dad was a weak man. He left yous. He took the easy way out because he couldn't do anything about it. And before I turned into the bridge, I pulled on the motorway and I was shaking. I could feel myself shaking, and I pulled over and I was all nervous and didn't know what to do, and I was frightened and I was so afraid. And I thought, that day, I'll never, ever, ever try or think about taking my own life ever again. I just didn't want to live anymore, and I had everything that a man could want. There wasn't nothing I didn't have, but it meant nothing. Nothing meant anything. I felt worthless. And the longer it went on, the more it hurt inside, and the more I was hurting everybody. Everybody gave up on me. My full family thought I was definitely going to die and I was going to kill myself. So I was on my knees in this bedroom, and after praying for about 10 minutes, I got up and I felt the weight of the world was lifted off my shoulders. And for the first time in years, I knew I was going to make a comeback. And it was only when I saw doctors and professional help, people who specialise in these problems, that I was coming to grips with what I was suffering with. And it is a disease. It's a disease like no other, because no one can see it. I'm just so happy to be alive and well, and I'm going to continue to spread the story as much as I can to inspire others to get well again. And because I'm a living example, proof that you can come back from anything, no matter how low it gets or no matter what you do in your life. You can always pick yourself up, dust yourself off and continue to move forward if you're willing to seek help. Best thing I have in my life is love. From my family, from my wife, my kids. I don't think you can get anything better than love. If you can really be loved and really love people, there is no better than that. Nothing can come close to it.